Sorry if there's like a little like thing right here. It's like on the inside, not on the outside of the line. It's really weird. But anyways, what is up guys? Welcome back to the videos. If you guys are new, my name is Mike. I do apologize for missing a video last week. Well, not really, I went live, but anyways, I was super busy because we're importing another car from Japan, or another 2 cars from Japan. We're still working on it. But this car right here, the Legacy, is like conditionally sold. So actually one of you guys is a subscriber, and it's really cool that I get to sell one of these cars to you guys. It's kind of cool to see that people actually watch the videos and is actually interested in these cars. So yeah, he seems like a pretty chill guy. He actually really loves the car, and we're just waiting to hear back from his bank. And then after that, the car is sold, and then we can import another 2 cars from Japan. I think these 2 cars are actually probably one of the 2 coolest cars that we imported, other than the Evo 4. That one was pretty sweet. And an update on Ariana, we did. This is like a prototype of this banner, an anti-perfect banner. I think it flows really well with the car with all the white decals. I think it really puts it all together. It actually says anti-perfect in Japanese. It is the same as the one on the side of my car right here, where it says like Japanese characters there. It's basically the same thing here, only it's more white. It says anti-perfect in the corner there. Mind you, this is just like a prototype because we are trying to fit it so it can fit all types of vehicles. This one is kind of fit for my windshield, and that wouldn't really work on this car. So we are thinking of modifying this just a little bit to see if we can make it more universal for you guys. If that's something you're interested in, let me know down below. When I first got this car, there were so many mods that I wanted and I thought would be so cool, but I never thought of the practicality standpoint of it. Like, harnesses look sweet when they're just like laid across the seat with them on you. You look like super badass, you look like a race car driver. But every single time I drive this car, it's just annoying to put on, and if I want to adjust my seat, I can only move so much without having to take off the actual seat belt. Or if I want to look down and adjust my mirror, you can't really move, and I keep some slack on the seat belt just so I can move around a little bit. I know it's supposed to be like strap you in. If I'm strapped in, I'm going to be taking off my seatbelt on and off so much that I think it's more safe if I just keep it a little loose just so I can move around a little bit. But anyways, the point of this video is I'm going to tell you guys how I can afford my Evo 10 build at basically 17, because that's when I first got this car, and how I was able to afford this car and all its mods up until this point basically. Before I go ahead and explain everything, I'm gonna lay down like a brief backstory on how I got this car. If you guys saw my last video, how I afforded my first Evo from Japan at 16. When I was 16, I wanted to import a car really bad from Japan. My dad is a mechanic, if you guys can tell already. Long story short, my parents both thought it was a terrible idea, because to buy a car from the other side of the world and to not even take a look at it or to test drive it is a terrible idea. We're basically basing the cars off pictures and hoping for the best. That's what it's like buying a car from Japan. As a father's standpoint, I totally understand why my dad said that, because he wants me to get a good, reliable first car. He doesn't want me to end up with a Nugget. He doesn't want me to end up with a really crappy car. And I totally get that, and I thank him for it, because he is helping me so much with my car, with this car, with basically anything in general. Long story short, I ended up selling that car, and I basically proved to my parents that they did not believe in me at all, that I would be able to afford an Evo for my first car. I would start working at 4, so right after school, and end at 10. And that was, for me, that was brutal. I was tired every day. When I finally saved up and proved to my parents that I could save up and buy an Evo for my first car, that's when they started realizing that I could actually budget my money. I knew how to save my money, and that was their whole point as to why they didn't want me to buy the Evo. And when I finally sold that car, I had about $15,000 to $16,000 $10,000 in the bank account. But my dad being my dad, he convinced me to buy a local car, which is Ariana. It would have taken me another summer to be able to afford this car. My dad really liked this car. We checked out this car, really liked it. And I told my dad's like, well, do you want it? I'm like, well, yes, I want it, but I'm not really crazy over the car, in the sense that I already had my heart set on an S15 from Japan, which my dad did not like also. So he was not prepared for me to buy another car that he did not like, or a car that he thought was gonna be a complete nugget. I started talking it over with my dad, and he's like, I will lend you the amount of money you need to buy this car. You just pay me back. Me being me, I thought it over. I'm like, well, I really want to import another car. I wanted to get an Evo 6 or an S15. And my dad's like, well, buy a car that you can drive all year and that they at least sell parts here for. I could see his point, and I could see how buying a local car would be very much the logical choice here. So with much convincing on my dad's end, obviously we ended up buying the Evo 10. And I was pretty happy with the car. Although I did feel a difference between the Evo 4 and the Evo 10. But anyways, that's a completely different topic for a completely different video. Within my first 2 months of owning this car, I got pulled over already. I lost my license for a year. If you guys want to check out that story and how I lost my license for a whole year, I'll put a little card or thing somewhere in the corner here or here. And that honestly sucked. I hated it. I basically just looked at my car, and I knew when summertime hits, I would feel so bad because there's so many car meets I can't go to. And if my car is at a car meet, my mom would be driving the car, or my dad. Once summer hit, my dad saw that I was super bummed out. But this is where the fun part happens. But now that we bought the Evo 10, got my license suspended, my dad saw how bummed I was over summer because I had no car. Well, I had a car but no license. I'm basically drinking and staring at my car the whole summer. So my dad's like, okay, get off your ass. How much money do you have saved up? I'm like, I have like a couple grand or something saved up, since at this point I'm just working full time and I'm not paying for any gas, I'm not paying for any registration or anything like that. So I was able to save up a lot. Now, mind you, I had to save up for my license and the tickets, but at this point they were already all paid off. I'm just saving up at this point. I'm waiting for the year to end. My dad's like, well, you're just staring at your car, not doing anything with it, and you have money. I said, yeah. He's like, you have all the time in the world to modify your car. Why don't you go out and do it? And that's when I knew a drug addiction would have been cheaper than building a race car or a show car. So I went out, my dad and I went out. Actually, no, me and my friend went out to look for an intake for his WRX. And I asked how much a titanium exhaust was. And it just so happened that they had one for sale that was a promo item, that it was basically one of one in the cities at that point. They said, if you buy this exhaust, we'll give you a deal on it because it is a promo item for a new company. So I told my dad about it, and he's like, well, what are you doing here? Go buy the exhaust. So that's what I did. I went out and bought the exhaust, and that was my first install video on Ariana. I'll link it over here if you haven't seen it. It was pretty sweet. I've always wanted to install an exhaust because I've seen like PJ Hunt, Adam LZ, Evan Shanks, all those guys, they get super cool exhausts, and I've always wanted one. And with the Evo 4, I never installed an exhaust. I just had a muffler delete, which I didn't even do. I just went to an exhaust shop and they cut the muffler out and put a straight pipe. It was the very first time I ever worked on this car, was putting an exhaust in. I would even just start the car just to hear it. That's what I wouldn't even drive it. I'd just start the car and be like, ooh, sweet. So that is the story on how I got the exhaust and my first install. But I'm very far from completing this build. There's so many things I still want to modify and change on this car. Like, we're still running stock power, boys. That is a no-no. We are so far from finishing this build, boys. Right now, I can already tell you the wrap that's on it might be temporary. I have I saw another wrap design that I absolutely fell in love with, but anyways, that's for far into the future. Right now, we're gonna go ahead and check out a local car meet. So like always, we're probably gonna have a good time at the car meet, check out the local cars and stuff, and I hope you guys are gonna enjoy it. Alright, so we're at the meet right now. This is the drive safe, not slow meet. It's pretty sweet. In the corner of my eye, I found something very beautiful. Damn, I've always wanted a Z. This one just parked here all alone, looks so good. I just met the owner of the Z over there. Super chill guy, his name is Mike too. Nice Z, I really want one, I really want one. I was looking at two at the auction, but I lost them, so we'll have to try again next time. But we'll see what happens. I really want to get a Z though. I think it'll be a fun track car slash drift car. Damn, damn. Ooh. Man, like, I actually wanted to save up for an Evo like this. I like the Evo, like there's an 8 rear bumper, but I like the Evo 9, like the one with the diffuser. That one looks pretty sweet. I like the wheels and everything. I really like that. Beside a Subaru STI, another STI. I think that's WRX, the white one. Good damn. This Subaru has a bigger wing than me. Subi's got me beat again.
Extra compensating.
True. Ariana's wing isn't that big.
That's right.
Never mind, it looks really big on camera. Never mind. Compared to Kevin's, look at that. That's huge. Oh man. Big Wang Gang, baby! Big Wang Gang! Oh, you can't join the club. Haha. Damn. Chassis mount on an STI hatch. Damn. Approved. Snap-on too, lifetime warranty. Center exit exhaust. You can hear the turbo spool. So good, so good. You're in the shop, Jumbo, goddamn. So right now, this is the closest thing Winnipeg has to an R34 GTR. It's a GTT with like GTR everything else. The wing, rear bumper, Bayside blue, damn. Did you know these are made by Race?
You know what this thing's cost?
Expensive.
Yeah, I think they were 8 grand.
8 grand.
Don't quote me on that. I don't know, but I think I heard someone say they were 8 grand.
Well, we're a Subaru guy and a Mitsubishi guy talking about it, but I know he even has like the cluster and the steering wheel. You can see that. GTR got a bride seat. Closest thing we got to a GTR, and it's here legally. It's here in Canada legally. Alright guys, so we just got home and the meet was actually really cool. The owner of that Skyline you guys just saw, that GTT, it's like a GTR replica, but it's the closest thing we got to a GTR. It actually made me sit inside his car, and to me it was just like a childhood dream because of Too Fast, Too Furious and Brian O'Connor and the whole thing. So that was super cool to sit in like my dream car. After that experience, for sure one day I will own an R34 GTR. I will make that a reality, because that is like my mom and dad fell asleep when they were a kid dreaming of Lamborghinis and Ferraris. I dreamed of that Nissan, so that is definitely my dream car. I'm definitely gonna aim to get one day, hopefully before it becomes legal in the United States and the price just skyrocket. But we're gonna have to end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and join the Annie Perfect Society. Peace out and make it happen.